Hello my guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be part 2 to the video I did last week, which was redesigning an old comic I had. I'd recommend you watch that one first, because this won't make too much sense if you don't. I do a full reading of the comic in there, and it's very embarrassing. Also, so far, not 100% of my viewers are subscribed. In fact, it hasn't been that way for 2 weeks, but based on my schedule, I have not been able to record something after I've learned this information until this video. So, I just want to quickly thank you guys right now for everything that's been happening. 2 weeks ago, I guess when this comes out, 3 weeks ago, I had like 28 subscribers, and as of recording this, I have 600. So thank you. I don't think I've still fully processed it, but thank you guys so much. And on with the video. So, okay, page 3 has a lot of stuff to get through. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 panels in this page. So I wasn't able to condense this page all into one page. I split up into 2, so the most of this page is in page 3, but a bit of the end is in page 4. Honestly, this one also has boring page layout. I said that page 2 had it. Page 3 also does, because I'm trying to cram a lot of panels into one page, and it's hard to make that interesting when there's not a lot of space to work with. I tried to figure out some kind of way to make it interesting as well, but yeah, this is the best I had. I guess the phone panel is more interesting, but that's about it. So okay, I want to talk a bit about the old page, because we need to address some things here. So, okay, when you're a kid and you're in fandoms, how you ship characters. So yeah, I did ship Freddy and Marionette for some reason. Not only that, but if you look at the third to last panel, I did also ship Mangle and Bonnie and Foxy and Chica. I don't know either. I guess that's just what people did with FNAF back in ye old days. But yeah, I cut out all the shipping from the new one. Don't worry, except for in the second page. Yeah, that's the second page. The second page, the note did still say, "I love you, Marionette," so it's platonic love, of course. Yeah, no shipping going on anymore. It never happened. Besides that, there are just some other things that are wrong with the original, obviously. Like, this was a problem in the last page too, I just didn't draw it, but why is Freddy in a cage now? He was tied up in a chair like 5 minutes ago. Why'd they throw him into a cage? And then in the next page, he's gonna be out of the cage. Why do they keep changing where Freddy's being held hostage? It doesn't make sense. Just keep him in one place. The second to last panel of the original. What the heck is that house design? What is that? It looks like I drew like a face and then made doors and wrote the name Purple Man Co. on it. And I don't know what that roof is. My god. Also, I have no clue why during the phone call there's a thing in the top left that says later. Because if anything, shouldn't that be happening at the same time? Because it says, well, she's calling you, right? So Marionette is currently calling, and then later Freddy gets to pick up and talk to her. I don't know, the timeline is really confusing based on that one little bit. There is one thing I do really like about this page that I did have to cut out. I do like the bad hair joke Marionette has, or it's like, what? No, first I have bad hair, now this. Like, just me calling out the fact that I draw her hair horribly the whole time. But obviously in this one, I didn't draw hair for Marionette because she doesn't have it. Also, I'm gonna be real right now. It's been so long. I'm very out of the loop in FNAF lore at this point. Things got so complicated. I can't remember what we disproved, what's proven, what's theorized, and what's known. I can't remember if Marionette's a girl or not. but in this comic, she's a girl, so we're just gonna go with that. Okay, so when it comes to actually redrawing it, the first panel I changed it around a bit since Chica already kind of knew, and since I didn't have to line up 3 characters, I had more space to play around, and I wanted to make their poses a bit more dynamic than just standing there, because there's a lot of just standing there in this comic already, which overall is one of the big problems it has, but I made them leaning in a bit more, and yeah, I think their poses are kind of cute. It's much better than the original one, and honestly much better than most of the poses in this comic. And then since I want to draw as little as possible, which is funny for an art video, but I just made Bonnie in the second panel introducing the problem instead of Foxy and Bonnie. Plus, it made more sense than them finishing each other's sentences. Then the next 2 panels, I don't know what it is about a lot of the drawing of like especially shoulders throughout this, but whenever people are like standing with their hands at their side, I had so much trouble drawing it. So the next 2 panels are really ugly, I won't lie. They don't look great. They get a bit better when I start inking them, but it's pretty bad still. And then also, I just made Marionette more of a focus in this page because she, like originally it was kind of like Foxy might be the main character, but no, then it just switched gears into Marionette being the main character, so I kind of introduced that a bit more earlier and gave her the spotlight much quicker. Also, Freddy's feet, you know how I am. I can't draw feet. Shoes, feet, all of that, it's always a struggle. Maybe I'll figure it out one day, but for now, Freddy has wacky feet. They don't look very good, but it's fine, just ignore them. But besides like those few ugly bits here and there, honestly I really like this one, especially the second half of it, and I really like Marionette whenever she's in this comic. I think it's mainly because like a large majority of her design is pure black, and so she stands out a lot rather than most of the comic having been like just grays. Having this like pop of black in her design is really nice. I love how it looks in the comic. And yeah, like how this page turns out, not my favorite. We'll get to that one in a bit. But overall, really good. One of the better ones. Still boring page layout and, you know, some ugly panels here and there. But overall, it's really nice. And then we move on to the next page. So like I said, I put a bit of the end of the last page into this page, and that's pretty much just them showing up. And for this one, I immediately like had some interesting page layout in my mind. I wanted to put a lot of like drama and emphasis on them showing up at the building. And then I knew at the bottom, I also wanted to have that be a larger panel to, you know, once again, emphasize it more. And also so that I could fit them all in. So this one, hey, it's not a boring page for once. Then there were some problems with the original, like all of them. One of the big things I wanted to change immediately was the death sequence. First of all, there's so much empty space. And once again, why is Freddy now on a spinning wheel? And I don't know why he has to throw the knife, and I don't know. I think the death sequence overall was done really poorly. It's just kind of boring. Not a lot is happening. All the action is taken away from it. So I want there to be more build up to that to, you know, really add the drama. And then also I want their expressions to be more, I don't know, like they looked kind of shocked, but I want to emphasize it a lot more. And also, why is Marionette the only one crying? And why do her tears look like that? They're so bad. So the first panel, I love it. I love like the view of their backs and like the angle on the building to make it really dramatic. And the building is more boring than the original, I'll say that. But it looks like an actual building. I think that was a much better way to introduce that they have, arrived at the building than the original. And honestly, I really love, all the panels of this page. Spoiler alert, this is my favorite page of all of them. I did struggle a bit with Purple Man's arm in the third panel, his right arm. I don't know, it just happens sometimes, especially when I'm drawing arms that are bent. I really need to figure out a better way to sketch out arms so that stuff like that doesn't happen, but it's not too noticeable here. But I love the progression of the murder in this one. How it starts with him grabbing the axe, then goes to him being next to Freddy and then him swinging it. All of that, I love how that progresses here. It's not just him throwing a knife with, God, no, we're not even going to go back through the problems of that first death sequence. I hated it so much. I also love all the facial expressions in this drawing, not just the facial expressions in the last panel, but I love Purple Man's expressions throughout it. I love how he's swinging and then one of his eyes are closed, and I don't know, I just like how I think his facial expressions are really fun and show his evilness throughout it really well. And then obviously the last panel, I want to give them all very varied expressions. So I had some of them being more shocked, some of them looking more sad, and I just really wanted to exaggerate those expressions here. I did also struggle a bit with putting the axe in this scene where the axe has been swung. First of all, I struggled figuring out how to show that action. I looked at how some other comics do stuff like that and just put in some action lines there. Then also having the axe now severing his head. I don't know, something about that was a little tricky to get it at the right perspective. I don't think it looks too bad, but I think the perspective's a little off and there should be some wall showing between the axe and Freddy's head, because I wanted to show his head popping off of his body, but that didn't really end up showing as well. And then I went to the backgrounds. It was pretty simple. I did draw a whole night sky for the outdoor scene, and I like the little moon. I don't know, there's so many little things in this page that make me like it even more, and that's one of the things. So yeah, I love this one. It's great, definitely my favorite, and I think it also has shows the biggest improvement from the first one. It's great. But after having worked so hard on that one and already making 4 comic pages previous to this next one, that's a lot of work. So it's no surprise that I was burnt out when making the final page. So I had to combine 2 very small pages for this one. It was just pretty much her killing him. I don't know if she's killing him, but her doing whatever to him, and then also revealing that Sans and Ness were future lives. Marionette is the past life of Sans and Ness. I don't think the past lives part was conveyed very well, but oh well. That's what I intended that whole page to mean. Also, I don't know why I had Marionette remove her mask. That didn't make it more dramatic. The reveal was that she turned Purple Guy into a puppet or something. Not that she removes her mask and looks pretty much the exact same, with just more hair now. Also, this isn't really related to redrawing, but in all the original comics I would draw little icons at the top near the title, and usually related to it. So in this one you can see one of the things is a mask. I don't know what the other one is. Is that a banana? I don't know. It's like said, not related to redrawing because I don't add those icons in the new drawings, but that just confused me. Does anyone know what that's supposed to be? Because I can't see anything that would relate to that blob. Maybe it's supposed to be magic power energy. I don't know. But then I move on to actually drawing it, and all the drawings look bad in this. Everything looks bad. It's so bad. My god. This one's the worst one. Sans kind of looks okay. Ness looks okay-ish. I had to pull up a reference for him because I could not remember what Ness looked like. His hair's kind of wonky, but he looks fine. Purple guy also looks fine-ish. I had to remove all of the posing he had because I was just so burnt out that I could not draw a pose, and so he's just standing there. I also wanted her power to relate more to Sans to make that connection clearer. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll make him a puppet. No, that doesn't look good, and you know, that's not like related to Sans power. Why was that even a thing? Okay, maybe I'll make her have blue flames, like, you know, the Sans thing where his eye will glow blue and then people give him like blue flames. Can't remember if that was actually an Undertale or not, but people do that, so maybe I'll do that. I didn't like how it was looking, so I scrapped that, and I was just left with like Marionette T-posing. Yeah, so Marionette's big moment is just a T-pose, I guess. Also, during the knuckle crack scene, which was like the one part that actually had like promise, I'd say, I forgot to fully define one of the hands, because in order to show that, since I used pure black to color in her hands, I had to use white to separate them and be like the line art, but I didn't actually separate the hands fully, just separated them from the body, so it's not as clear as I would have wanted it to be. But yeah, I hate this one. It's the worst. I might even go as far as to say that the original is better. It made more sense. The drawings were more clear a lot of the time, and it was more interesting than this page. So yeah, I'm gonna say I think the original was better. I would rather have to like look at the bad drawings than look at the boring drawings that I ended up making. Sorry to end it on such a sour note, but that is the end of the video. A full posting of all the pages together is gonna be on my Instagram, so make sure to follow my Instagram to go look at those. And while you're down there in the description going to my Instagram, you should also go to my Twitter and follow that. Also, while you're down there, you should also subscribe and like the video. You know, just get all these things done at once while it's quick and easy, instead of, you know, going back and liking the video, because you're going to like it, right? You're gonna click that like button. And I will see you all next week.